Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Garden, and this is the Mega Drive Mini 2 by Sega. And here it is. Here's the dashboard with all the box arts you could possibly want. We press B and we can turn the boxes on their edges so you can see all of the titles on one screen without scrolling. And here is the options. We've got several languages to choose from. We have a horrible widescreen mode, and we have a CRT filter. So I'm going to turn the CRT filter on by using the C button. We've got several wallpapers to choose from. They're all disgusting. I suggest you go with black. We can choose between the Mega Drive 1 or 2 sound chip. The Mega Drive 1 sound chip is generally regarded as the better option. We're going to change the boxes back to the front covers, I think. Looking at the spines is all well and good if you just want to select the games, but you don't see the cover art. Okie dokie. So, as you can see, there's a selection of Sega CD games on here, and Mega Drive games. Some unusual picks. I would say they're all decent. There's nothing super horrific on here. There's some stuff which seems throwaway. What I will say is Clay Fighters is fucked. It's just bugged. I've had several games on there which the sprites just fly around the screen randomly. It's really strange. Other than that, we've got some old-fashioned games like Locomotive and Spatter, which aren't super fun. Ooze has always been a bit of a crappy inclusion. Sylpheed is one of the games that I've never played and really sort of drew me to buying the console. I was a bit disappointed that the UK version doesn't have Starblade on it. That's only available in Japan. But the ROM is probably still on the machine though, isn't it? It's probably just filled it with some sort of, I don't know, bit of code blocking it so you can't see it. We've got some polygons here. As you can see, I've got the CRT filter on. It looks... Not only has it put lines across the screen, but it's made everything fuzzy, which is... Ooh, polygon test. Let's go in the polygon test. Yeah, it's made everything fuzzy, which isn't great. Oh, these are actual 3D models. That's interesting. So your ship is a 3D model, not a sprite. And the enemies are 3D models as well. And it shows you the colour palettes. That's very strange. Interesting but strange. So this game is a shooter, and it's a shooter that I've never played before. Ooh, nice spaceship. I believe a lot of this is FMV. Well, and the quality is pretty good, it has to be said. It doesn't look horrific FMV, like some of the other FMV games on here. Yeah. Before we get into this game though, the little unit's kind of cute. It's got the little flickable power button. Although when I've had a Mega Drive 2 for years, I seem to remember that the power button was a push button on the UK one, rather than a slidey button. I mean, you can correct me on that, but on this device it's a slidey button. The unit itself, it's about 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and a couple of centimeters deep. It's like the PC Engine Mini, but about only 2/3 as deep. Oh, we've got a low frame rate planet, which looks like it's been generated fractally. Oh yes, this planet looks like it's been generated by a computer algorithm. We're shooting some polygon spaceships. It's really pretty difficult to see what's going on there. Here we have the same intro without the CRT filter. How much nicer does this look? I'll tell you how much nicer. 147.3% nicer. Again, we're going to fly down the corridor and play some of the game. Yeah, the CRT filter, as in all these consoles, is not worth your time. Strangely designed spaceship. It's got a very low-slung main weapon. This game, I hadn't played it before. I've played it on here. I find it slightly irritating. To be fair, it's a bit fussy, and you can't get a different weapon until level 2. and enemies move really quickly, and the perspective's odd. Anyway, we were talking about the Mega Drive Mini console. It has a plastic detachment where the Mega CD2 would have gone, so they've replicated that. Much like the first Mega Drive Mini, they've done some bits and bobs like that on there. It's alright, it's quite cute. The game selection, like I said, is generally alright. Yeah, the game selection is generally alright. We've got, like I say, the use is weird. I don't know why they keep bothering putting it on compilations. It's always been a bit of a shit game, and I never really liked Vectorman, although I think Vectorman has its fans. What they've done on this system, though, is added Atomic Runner, which is a cool game. Elemental Master, which you don't see that often. Ranger X, which is an expensive game, not tied to my tastes. You get a version of Space Harrier 2 which uses scaled sprites rather than the Mega Drive original sprites. You get Final Fight CD. You get 2 Echo the Dolphin games. Now, your mileage may vary on those. I'm not interested in those really personally. You get a Zelda clone game, which apparently is a very rare game to buy. Called Solihull. It's based just outside Birmingham, and you get Viewpoint, as we've got here, which is converted from the Neo Geo. And I remember having this back in the day on my Mega Drive, and kind of thinking it was alright. And you know what? It is alright. The music is, and sound effects are a bit shite, but they are recognisable from the Neo Geo original. The visuals are obviously greatly downgraded, but they still do look like the original game, so it's not too bad. It plays very similarly. I own this on the Neo Geo, and I've played it quite a bit. So yeah, this Mega Drive version is not too bad. Obviously it's pales in comparison to the Neo Geo original, but if you're a Mega Drive, not too bad, I'd say. What else we got? We've got Rolling Thunder 2, which I believe was an arcade machine, and that's a quality game. It's got some really nice presentation on there. We've got Revenge of Shinobi on here, which I think they put on every single compilation, don't they? And what else have we got? Alien Soldier, which is a game I've never got on with. It's alright, visually, sonically, it's just, I don't know what I'm doing in that game, I find it too hard. Well, lots of Shining Force games, if that's your thing. Not really a fan of the old turn-based RPGs, so that's not really for me. You've got Phantasy Star 2 on here, which is a well thought of turn-based RPG. So you got some big hitters and some sort of smaller, lesser-known games. I think the lineup is generally good. Like I said, not excellent, but good. Outrunners is a bit shite, and Afterburner 2 is what it is. It's alright. Outrun. I mean, all the games run perfectly reasonably. They run as you expect them to. It's just, you'll have to decide based on your taste whether this is worth it or not. I don't think this is. It's not an essential purchase, really, for Mega Drive lovers. The first one I felt more excited about. This one, it's not so much, even though it's got this Sega CD stuff on it. Sonic CD is a bit of a letdown. I'll go as far to say that. Oh, got a boss here. He's going to get flames in the face. Take that, you son of a gun. Yeah, Viewpoint's alright. We've got Final Fight CD. So let's have a quick look at this. This game was obviously converted to the Super Famicom. It's one of the first games I ever bought for the Super Famicom. This version, graphically, is probably a bit more accurate in terms of sprite size and environmental details, things such as bad guys walking out of doors and the doors open. But the colour depth is not all that, considering that, which is no surprise considering the Mega Drive only can display 61 colours or something on screen. So yeah, but the Mega Drive puts in a bit of a shift with putting extra sprites on the screen. It puts at least 4 characters on the screen. In the Super Nintendo only did 3. So you get 1 extra character, a less colour depth, get a CD soundtrack, and some choppier animation, it has to be said, like Hager when he picks up the pipe and the sword. It looks a bit weird, but it plays nicely. This is a nice conversion of Final Fight. And if I had had a Sega CD back in the day, this would have been top of my list to get, and it's still pretty good. I mean, it's been superseded by many other ports of Final Fight, plus the fact you can get the original on compilations, etc. But anyway, it's nice to see it on here. And the CD audio is kind of nice. But there we have it. What other games have we got on here? We've got Bare Knuckle 3, which is alright. Oh! They've created a new console called Sega Mark V. And this is so they can produce Space Harrier with sprite scaling. Now, the weird thing about this game is, yes, they've introduced sprite scaling, but they've made the sound even worse than the original version of this game. Which I don't know how they've managed it. It sounds scratchier and worse than the original. The original was tinny, but the sample quality for some reason is lower on this than it was in the original. Don't know. Anyway, you can see what Space Harrier 2 looks like with sprite scaling. It looks alright, if a bit sparse. So yeah, this is a slight visual upgrade. Well, a slight visual upgrade is probably quite a big visual upgrade. Like that sound effect there, the dying sound effect, isn't as good. It makes the game easier to play, it makes the game easier to track things, but the, like I said, the sound doesn't transfer as well. Don't know, weird. I've always had a soft spot for Space Harrier 2, even though it's a bit of a jerky mess. But it is colourful, and you do shoot evil aliens with a giant laser, so you cannot argue with that. This is a weird experiment. I don't quite know if this is something they've managed to do on a standard Mega Drive, like they've programmed the Mega Drive to be able to scale these sprites, or whether they've just used the extra power of an emulated device to basically reprogram the game so it's got scale sprites. I've got no idea. I'd like to know some information about it actually. They could have put some release notes or something on the actual device, but I haven't seen any. I've been through the credits. But they've basically made a new console by the looks of it. This game also suffers from more sprite flicker than the original Space Harrier 2, from what I remember. Like that boss didn't do that in the original. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on. This crazy world we live in. Anyway, he's just got a fireball right in the bollocks, and he's giving up. So look at that, it's just a flickery mess. He's running across a checkerboard tea cloth world. I'm sure that's different to the original as well. Anyway, we've got another Sega Mark V conversion, and this time of the original Space Harrier. And this one never appeared on the Mega Drive, so this is most welcome. But again, it's using scaled sprites. And we've got a rapidly firing laser because I've put rapid fire on. This game suffers from even more flickery sprites. So, yeah. It's fairly accurate though. What I will say is if this uses 64 colours or 61 colours. I don't know if it does. But if it does, this is a pretty good recreation of Space Harrier. It looks fantastic if you ignore the flickering sprites. So yeah, they've done a really good job here. I'd like to have seen this on the original Mega Drive. Obviously with less flicker, but even the sound's nice. They've reproduced the sound in lovely fashion, and that sound effect sounds awesome. So yeah, it's weird, but it flickers like buggery. So anyway, fun little addition. Do I recommend the Mega Drive Mini 2? Well, like I said, it's worth it if you like the games that you saw on the title screen. They've got Bonanza Brothers on here again. That's not a good game. Well, it's not a brilliant game, it's an alright game. There's lots of alright games, and not so many great games. We've got Sonic CD on here. The frame rate is weird on this game. I don't know if the original was 30 frames a second, but this version certainly is. So we're going to play one of the levels. Here we go. This is a boss level. So we've got a CD soundtrack, we've got low-res visuals, we've got Sonic in his original form. It looks like the original Sonic the Hedgehog, which is nice. At some points you get Amy following you around. I don't quite know what's going on there. This game is well regarded. I'm not a massive Sonic fan. I like the first game enough, I like the second game enough. This game isn't good enough to convert me to Sonic the Hedgehog's platforming cause, I'm afraid. It's alright, but like I said, the frame rate seems to take a hit. I don't know if that's emulation or not. There's a new reprogrammed version of Fantasy Zone on here. I've not played the arcade original, so I can't vouch for its accuracy, but other people have said it's accurate. I don't know how much lag there is on this. Like I've said before in previous videos, I don't tend to feel lag as much, but I'm sure there is a few frames of lag. It's emulation. And yeah, is it worth it? Probably, if you like the games on here. You've got Splatterhouse 2, that's a cool game. Rolling Thunder 2, lovely stuff. Yeah, there's a few things on here which are groovy, but there's quite a bit of filler, so it's up to you really. Have a look at that games list. It's 100 quid as well, 110 quid. Alright then, ta-ra.